Alrighty, everyone. Matt back here with another video for y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching this. We got a lot to talk about today. We've got a potential severe weather outbreak now possible over the next 4 to 5 days. We've got now hurricane, or about to be Hurricane Hone here, going south of the Big Island here of Hawaii, which is going to bring tropical storm force winds. We already have tropical storm force warnings in effect. This will start to actually happen later on tonight through tomorrow, and then this will be, away from the Big Island here by your Monday and Tuesday. But this will be floating with hurricane status, so this is something we're going to keep you guys updated on as far as this track goes. Really quickly, if you guys will share this out to as many people as possible, if we can get this video out to a lot of people. This is a big forecast. There's a lot to talk about. We might even do a live stream later on tonight just to kind of talk about everything, but we will be live covering severe weather a lot of days this week, so do be looking out for those streams. We'll go ahead and get into this video, guys. Like I said, tropical storm Hone here. As of the 11 o'clock advisory Central or Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central time, we are sitting at 65-mile-an-hour winds, maximum wind gust up to 75, movement at west speed, and 998 millibars low. Here is the pressure reading on this storm, and you can actually see the storm very symmetrical. Once again, always we look for that symmetry to see where the strengthening convection is in the center of circulation. We've actually got a flare up of new convection around the center of circulation here on the northern side of circulation that is starting to potentially show that maybe hurricane status here later on this afternoon or by tomorrow. Outer bands will start to work here towards Hilo and the Big Island here very soon as well. Like I said, tropical storm force warnings are already up. This is expected to become a Cat 1 hurricane by the Monday morning around 7 a.m. This will be away from the Big Island, but this will still be bringing impacts as far as like Honolulu with rain and stuff like that. So we'll be watching the rainfall. We might go live for this tomorrow and cover this tomorrow. We'll just kind of see how this plays out. So do look out for that live stream tomorrow. Like I said as well, we'll be covering severe weather as well. Another update as well on the track of Hurricane Gilma. This is expected to continue west. This will be fizzling out into a tropical depression by the time it gets closer to Hawaii, and then getting stuck up with a jet streak and getting pulled off to the north. So that is the thought. This looks like it's going towards Hawaii, but as of right now, it's not being forecasted to have any impacts for Hawaii. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. And also, we are watching another invest here that could develop here very soon behind Gilma. So we've got a lot of areas to watch here, a lot of storms going on here in the Pacific. The Atlantic Ocean is the exact opposite. It's very quiet right now, but we are starting to see signals for this start to ramp up here starting next week. And the 7 to 10 day outlook right now from the National Hurricane Center doesn't have any storms, any areas of development yet, but we are watching a couple waves that are going to be coming off of Africa, and these could pose potential development regions as they work through next week and into the first week of September. For the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going to watch that. I did see a statement yesterday basically saying that there's a chance we could see 6 to 10, maybe higher than that, storms throughout September. So September could be a very active month. Hopefully that's not the case, but it looks like it's going to trend more potentially for that way. So the Atlantic Ocean will probably be waking up here soon. One other thing, guys, we're going to talk about, and this is something we're going to be talking about a lot. You guys are going to hear me talk about it a lot this week. Severe weather. We've also got a heat dome that'll be building over the Ohio Valley, Midwest, South, East, and Southern Plains over the next week or two. We'll be having triple-digit temperatures. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute, but this is day one. Today will probably be the last day of severe weather that we see out of the next 4 to 5, maybe even 6 days here, as we are expecting potentially a multi-day severe weather event for much of the Northern Plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and even into the Northeast as we go towards Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this coming weekend. So August is going to end out very busy as far as the severe weather goes. Now, today's severe weather forecast, we're not looking at anything crazy at all. We do have a couple marginal risk areas for severe weather. These are all due to wind and hail. There's no tornado risk with this at all today. At least it's less than 2% as of right now, so do be mindful. You can always have an isolated tornado, but it would be back here into the Rocky Mountains where we see that if there were anything. We do have a Missouri and northern Arkansas and a wind threat today, or a hail threat today over there, and then we have a wind and a hail threat here in Oklahoma. This is going to be from the Red River up into the southern side of Kansas, and then our wind and hail threat as well from Albuquerque, New Mexico, all the way up here into Cheyenne, Wyoming, and southwestern Nebraska. Now, that is going to be the risk zone for today. Guess what, guys? We've got multiple days of severe weather as we go through the next couple of days. A big risk zone for tomorrow. We'll start over here for your Sunday. This will be, I believe, the last official Sunday of August. I can't remember. I think this is the last Sunday. It may not be. I don't know. August 24th. It's weird. But anyways, This will be a marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow across the Ohio Valley. This is going to be Pennsylvania into Detroit, Michigan. We've got northeastern Ohio, central Ohio. We will be live tomorrow covering this event as far as the bigger picture goes for the northern plains as well. So we'll be updating you guys on this throughout the day tomorrow. And then our big marginal risk zone. Look at this, guys. Marginal risk from Wyoming back into the Rockies. We've got New Mexico. We've got Utah. We've got Arizona, all the way up into the northern plains. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states, 11, 12, 13 states, and 14 states over in the Ohio Valley into some type of severe risk tomorrow. So the bigger picture is going to be what happens in this slight risk tomorrow. Now, a lot of the models, at least for tomorrow, are showing a pretty strong capping inversion. We talked about this the other day. A capping inversion is a temperature inversion aloft in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's basically your temperatures are higher than your dew points, so create the cap, and storms can't break that cap until those temperatures are lower to where the dew points are sitting at. So tomorrow could be a bust. Tomorrow could be a big day. There's a lot of scenarios with tomorrow, and so hopefully tomorrow busts and that capping inversion holds. But as we go into Monday and Tuesday and possibly Wednesday, that looks to be a little bit less of a scenario, and we'll talk about why that is going to be here in just a moment. But we are expecting that level 2 slight risk. This is going to be a wind, tornado, and hail threat. That tornado risk is going to be sitting up here into parts of Fargo, Grand Forks, and northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota area, and then that wind threat will be down here into parts of the central plains here as we go into Nebraska and into the South Dakota area. Now, the tornado risk tomorrow, like I just said, 2% as of right now. This is a small area. International Falls, Grand Rapids, Grand Forks. We'll talk about this as we go through tomorrow's update as well. This will probably get shifted down south a little bit more too, just in favorable of a tornado environment in some areas. The wind risk tomorrow at the 15 and a 5% in the maroon and in the yellow, and then the hail risk as well is also a 15 and 5%. So nothing too crazy tomorrow. It does have the potential to have, you know, overachieve or underachieve. That's how I look at tomorrow's setup, and we'll show you why here in just a moment. Also, as we go into that day 3 forecast, big severe weather risk again for your Monday. This will be the last Monday of August officially. Big slight risk here. We actually have a hatched area for day for your day 3 forecast, and that's more than likely going to be a wind threat hatch and a hail threat hatch, and we'll probably have a 5 or 2% tornado risk with this. Monday does look more favorable for tornadoes as far as Minnesota and Wisconsin and Iowa go, and South Dakota, so we'll talk more about that as we go into tomorrow's video. But a big old marginal risk basically set up over our ridge, and underneath of the risk zone here is that heat dome. We've talked about a lot about this over the summertime here. Basically, you have a heat dome that sets up, severe weather goes up and over the ridge, kind of like a roller coaster, and you can get severe weather on both sides. Mostly on the northern side is where the stronger severe weather is at, and we actually have a low pressure system that's going to be organizing the severe weather risk for Monday's risk. But we do have a level 2 risk in the yellow, level 1 risk in the green. That includes the Northeast, that includes Michigan, UP, Michigan, all the way back into the Central Plains. So big risk zone on Monday, and we will be live on Monday as well covering that for you guys. And I will show you guys just the probabilities here. There is a hatched probability, meaning this could be hatched wind, this could be hatched hail, this could be hatched tornado. I don't think it's a hatched tornado risk. It's going to be a wind and a hail threat more than likely. But if you were in the Chamberlain area here in South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Watertown, Brookings, all the way into almost downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota here, there's a hatched some type of risk zone. So we're going to talk more about that as this updates over the next couple of days. And then guess what, guys? We're not done after that. We've got another risk zone on Monday or Tuesday here, and this is a bigger risk zone as well. I do expect Monday and Tuesday to be our bigger days for severe weather this coming week, and we've got a big level 2 slight risk for all of Michigan, northern Indiana, northern Illinois, much of Iowa, southern Illinois, southern Minnesota, central and southern Wisconsin, back into Ohio, PA, and into parts of New York. So this is something on Tuesday we're going to watch, and I would not rule out some type of enhanced risk being issued just based off of what we're already seeing with the models. And it looks like we could have a couple line segments, some MCSs, these big old line complexes that come through with damaging winds. These typically favor damaging wind events, so this is something we're going to watch out for, but I would expect Monday and Tuesday to be the bigger days. Now, let's go ahead really quickly and kind of look at what the models are showing for today and tomorrow. I can only show you guys 48 hours out as far as the short range models. Today, back here in Missouri, storms are already ongoing. We can see those storms moving through east. By later on this afternoon, those storms will fizzle out. That risk zone will be over with. Like I said, not seeing a lot as far as today goes with that severe weather risk. It's going to be very minimal in those marginal areas if there is anything that does happen. Now, as we go into tomorrow, multiple scenarios for tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow looks to be a pretty capped day. So if any storms can overcome the capping in the atmosphere up here in the Dakotas and into parts of the Rockies, they will have the chance for maybe an isolated tornado far, far, far north on the Canada line, or damaging winds and small hail. And you can see a couple little clusters here, some clusters of storms back into the Rockies tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. It looks like initiation would be after sunset tomorrow for your Sunday, and then we could see maybe some clusters, maybe a line segment or two form. Like, there's still a lot of discrepancy with the models. And then as we go into your Monday forecast, we'll talk about that here in just a second on what that's actually. And so as we go and we look at the jet streak, we'll talk about, like I said, Monday and Tuesday here in a minute, but we're just going to give you guys the overall look at what we're seeing with this pattern here. And there's our low pressure system. This is actually a negatively tilted trough. This is a pretty strong southwesterly flow. Seeing a jet stream like this is typically something you see during the springtime. Now that we're seeing this into a summer to fall transition, makes me start to think that we're going to potentially have a pretty active severe weather threat as far as the fall months go. And that's very much anticipated as we go into a La Nina transition from El Nino. You can see our ridge set up here. Once again, this will start to work its way, or continue to work its way over into the Ohio Valley and Midwest and Southern Plains here, or at least eastern Southern Plains here and into the Mississippi Valley, which will help heat things up, create lift, create instability, and this low pressure system will actually work its way east and get caught up on top of that ridge on the western side here. And on Sunday and Monday, we can see that low actually becomes a little bit more negative tilted, and this is where the risk zones are going to be clearly at for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And this is a southwesterly flow, so lots of dew points, lots of instability. There will be a little bit of wind shear on Monday and Tuesday that can help cause a little bit of a tornado risk, although I do think, like I said, damaging winds on Monday and Tuesday will be the big threat. And this low actually strengthens on Tuesday night. So this is something we're going to have to watch over the Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin area. And then, believe it or not, guys, on Wednesday and Thursday, once again, we will have another low pressure system coming out of Canada. And this is actually going to bring some pretty cool air down here. Continuing to see those warm temperatures down back here into the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and Ohio Valley on top of this ridge. And then watching what this low is going to do as we go into the weekend could potentially produce some type of severe weather back into either the Central Plains, Northern Plains, Ohio Valley, Northeast. This will be, right above the Canada line, and this could bring a pretty strong cold front that comes down with it through this next coming weekend. And this is something we're going to have to watch maybe for some severe weather. But then I want to show you guys something, and this is something we've been starting to see trend for about 2 to 3 days now. And this is this overall pattern for September. Are we going to see a cool down potentially as we start September for, the northern half of the United States and Central Plains potentially? There's a possibility. But what you see on the left side of the screen here is going to be the potential for these trough ejections and these lows that form off the coast of California, and they swing east or north. These typically can produce pretty big severe weather events. This is typically, like I said, something we see during the springtime. If we start to see signals that we're going to see these low pressures and these trough ejections like we would see during the spring transition into the fall, then I would start to be more concerned about the potential for active, more severe weather potential outbreaks as we go into September, October, and November. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen right now, but there's the potential if we're going to start to see those signals. It's just something that we'll have to pay attention to as far as the long-range models go. Now, one more thing I want to show you guys is going to be just the overall precip where we could see these showers and storms at. And really today, not really a lot going on as far as those couple marginal risk zones. As we go into Sunday, like I said, you can really see that capping inversion kind of playing out here on Sunday. Not a lot of showers and storms. There's a couple across Minnesota and in the Canada and the parts of the Northern Plains on tomorrow night. Like I said, tomorrow's a boomer bust kind of setup I see as. And then as we go into Monday, that low officially works over the Central and Southern and Northern Plains here, and we get more organized convection on Monday and Tuesday that develops. This will actually potentially track into an MCS that could maybe even favor, I wouldn't say derecho yet, but there's a scenario with this with the European model potentially on Tuesday. And then as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, that low is right over top of Wisconsin here, and we could see some severe weather initiate over the Midwest and Great Lakes into Michigan. And then as we go especially into Wednesday and Thursday, gotta watch this low pressure system once again as we go into the later half of next week. Could bring a pretty interesting cold front scenario down here where we see a lot of showers and storms across much of the Midwest, Central Plains, the Missouri Valley, Mississippi Valley, and Ohio Valley, and eventually into the Northeast as we go into the weekend, where we potentially could have another organized system that comes through later into the first week of September. So a lot to figure out as far as severe weather goes, guys. I'm going to keep you guys updated every single day. We'll be popping out videos. We'll be live streaming a lot this week, so do look for my live streams. For some reason, once again, the videos and the live streams don't get notifications. I don't know why that is. So look for those. That's why I tell you guys to look for the videos each day in the live streams when we do them. But other than that, guys, be safe, be weather aware, and I will see y'all later.